From all across eastern Iowa, these are your hometown heroes. And this is the Eastern Iowa OT.
No more stupid mistakes. Right here. Let's go! That's it.
Welcome in to week 6 of Eastern Iowa OT. 5 weeks in the books. Depending on class side, only 3 or 4 chances left to prove what you're made of. A lot of teams have been knocked in the dirt, been punched in the mouth, got their backs against the ropes. But this final month of the season is your final opportunity to show you deserve a spot in the postseason. Iowa City West and Jefferson, both teams that are facing that exact challenge. Jefferson's coming off their first loss. Can they avoid a 5-game skid like the one they suffered last year? Trojans, they're 2-3, just one more loss, and your playoff chances are on life support. They've got the talent to make a run at the Dome, but can this West team put the pieces together and find themselves among the playoff puzzle? Got the top 2 quarterbacks in 5A on the field. Yernan, Vernon, Binda, and slip out the back, Jack Wallace. Numbers 1 and 2 in the state in passing touchdowns. And Jeff's getting a big advantage on the opening kick. The normally sure-handed Mason Woods coughs up the kickoff. Iwaza Calilero, he's there for the recovery, and the Jayhawks are quickly on the move. Takes only a few plays for his older brother, Ish Calilero, to finish the dirty work. Punches his way across the goal line for his 6th touchdown of the season. Jeff thinks they might have something brewing, but West quickly puts those notions to bed. Wallace and Woods. Mason Woods getting this one tucked away squarely into the breadbasket. He's streaking across the goal line for his 8th receiving touchdown of the season. Jack Wallace, he started every game for West since he was a freshman. He's the school's all-time leading passer, getting helped out by some of his playmakers who can do stuff like this. Juju Manson, get on the Juju train. 76-yard touchdown has the Trojans ahead 13-6. Now we're moving to the second quarter, and Wallace, what's his favorite Sondheim musical? Into the Woods. Mason Woods with a sensational one-handed grab in the end zone. He got flagged for an unsportsmanlike conduct on the play, but I won't tell his dad if you won't. Now the Trojans, they're getting to work on defense. Through 5 games, Vernon Binda had only thrown 1 interception, but Henry Elser makes it 2. That's his first takeaway of the season. Puts this potent Trojan offense back on the field. Wallace still throwing haymakers. This time goes to Manson for his own one-handed catch at the goal line. 4 touchdown passes for Wallace in the first half, maybe one of the best games of his career. West still taking swings as we get closer to the playoffs. A 42-point win over Jeff. Liberty and Wash, these are both teams who've had to pick themselves up off the floor. The Bolts, they got bumped by Pleasant Valley, bounced back for a couple of wins. Wash, they started the year 0-2, but they've now won 2 of their last 3. And to the shock of many, Wash has a 16-14 lead at halftime. But this Liberty offense, led by Reese Reddick and Owen Drapeau, start moving the ball down the field. This is on 4th down. Liberty's going for it. Reddick loses control of the ball, but recovers in time to sling it to Dallas Miller, who picks up the first down. A drive that started on their own 10-yard line, capped off with some yak and some points from Miller. One of 5A's most dangerous combos. That's Reddick's 13th touchdown pass of the season, and the Bolts take the lead, but their PAT is blocked by Wyatt Young because, of course, Wyatt Young is in the backfield. That guy's got a motor that could fuel a small city. Genuinely might be the best defensive player in Iowa. I love watching that kid play. Now we're going to the 4th quarter. Reddick dropping back again. This one to Jordan Schroeder. A kid only had 2 catches coming into the night. That's his first touchdown of the season. Wash makes it interesting, but make no mistake, Warriors, they're dangerous. Maybe not a playoff team this year, but they're coming. Liberty wins by 5, and they're now 5-1 this season. Kennedy, a team that Needs a shot in the arm in the absolute worst way. The Cougars are 1-4. Never would have seen this start coming. Now they've got 5-0 Bettendorf to reckon with. Tough road environment, but the Drake commit and longtime QB for the Cougs, Vinny Gianforte, moving him down the field in the first half. That drive ends with a Jacob Doyle touchdown. For as rocky as this year's been for Kennedy, Doyle's been excellent out of the backfield. Just not enough in the tank for Kennedy. Big road loss to Bettendorf, who's now 6-0, while the Cougars are a shocking 1-5, guaranteed its first losing season since 2014. City High is another team that took its lumps over the first 2 weeks of the season, got just hammered by Joliet Catholic and their rivals from Liberty, but Mitch Moore's got them back in a fighter stance. 2 straight wins coming from a 2-point conversion in their final minute. They've won 3 in a row now, scored 40+ in each of their last 3 games, and are starting to get some attention from the state's top 10 voters. Got a couple of games ahead of them where they'll light up some of the Davenport schools, starting tonight with the Blue Devils. The Devils! The Devils! First possession for City High. It's a sophomore, Dawson Call. Get ready to hear this name a lot tonight. Big run puts City High into Blue Devil territory. On the very next play, Colin Call's name again. The handoff up the middle. Takes it untouched to the end zone for a touchdown. City High up 7-0. And we're not even 2 minutes into the game. Davenport Central will go 3 and out on their first possession. City High got the ball again, and Call's got it again. Nice run, dragging a lot of Blue Devils players along with them. And on the very next play, just get out of Dawson Call's way. He gets the hit stick. This kid is a mammoth to bring down. A few plays later, Call is going to get into the end zone for the second time in the first quarter. Second touchdown of the game. Very quickly, City High already up 14-0 on Davenport Central. City High defense getting it done as well. Bobbled snap by the Blue Devils. Quarterback somehow finds its way to the motioning receiver, but a host of City High defenders get behind the line of scrimmage for the tackle for loss. And on the next play, more defense. Abe Bedonis able to deflect this pass, and that forces another punt by Davenport Central. That's all just in the first quarter. We're going to the second now. City High up 28-0. How about some passing now? Bobby Bacon throwing a deep one, and check out this catch by Dominic Salibi. Man, that kid just makes plays week after week. Fully extended, holds onto it on the sideline. Magnificent catch, sets up a City High in scoring position. A few plays later, Bacon fakes a handoff, rolls to his right and finds the big man Parker Sutherland in the end zone for another touchdown. This one's all City High, led 42-0 at halftime. They dominate on homecoming, winning 49-7, improving to 4-2 this season. A lot of our 5A teams from the area are out of town this weekend, but Linmar continues their impressive season. 47-7, the 7th-ranked Lions win at Muscatine. Cedar Falls now falling to 2-4 now, Cedar Falls. After they started 2-0, they've lost 4 straight, losing at home to Pleasant Valley tonight. Another couple 5A scores. Cedar Rapids Prairie can't pull off the road upset against Ankeny. And how about a couple of 0-5 squads going at it in Dubuque? Senior, the Rams, the pride of Kyle Conradi, picking up a 52-12 win over Davenport Central. Davenport West, that was the senior beat tonight. Hempstead, they've had a good season. They were down in the Quad Cities, getting a 24-21 win over Davenport North. And Waterloo West, this is about their best season maybe in the last 7-8 years, getting a 44-17 win on the road in Marshalltown tonight. Wahawks looking good this year. In 27 years, Xavier spent precious little time getting knocked down, but a couple early losses. Have the Saints season on the ropes, a chance to light up the Lancers as they head out to North Scott. And Westdale took a couple body blows over the first 2 weeks, but the Hawks are back, united in Manchester. Highlights from a former volleyball court when we return.
Let's go! Let's go! Hey, we ready? Let's go! Here we go, here we go. Kick off, kick off. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
The man who needs no introduction and no assistance in getting his team motivated. After 4 weeks, Dwayne Schulte's Xavier team was staring down a 2-2 record. They'd been beat up and bruised both on and off the field, but they find a way to keep fighting one Friday after the next. The Saints have a top 10 tilt in Eldridge, never shying away from championship aspirations every week. Critical for the Saints' playoff hopes. Xavier's offense has struggled at times to find its footing this season, but Ryan Kelly here getting loose for a first down. Flipping the field now in the second quarter. Xavier trailing the Lancers 7-0, but they're starting to put a drive together. Kelly, again, getting a lot of carries down in the Quad Cities, getting a lot of catches. And Cash Parks back at QB for the Saints tonight. He can make this team go, giving it to Kelly deep down the field to keep that drive moving. Finally, they finish this drive in the end zone. Jacob Miller, a great catch to put Xavier on the board, but they're trailing North Scott 7-6. Now check this play out a little bit later in the first half. Cash Parks tosses it backwards to Carter Hoffman, who goes back to Cash Parks for the touchdown. Philly special. How about a Xavier special? Cedar Rapids Xavier with a 28-21 upset of North Scott. Another much-needed win. Huge win for the Saints on the road. A couple other 4A teams in action tonight. Decorah is good. We haven't had a chance to see them yet. We're going to make our way up there one of these days. 28-7, they beat Waverly Shell Rock and Western Dubuque. Another much-needed win for the Bobcats. 27-0, they beat Marion tonight in Epworth. West Delaware had their eyes on a dome run this fall. Talented senior class has had the 2024 season circled on the calendar since they were just middle schoolers, but the Hawks took a couple uppercuts. Starting the year 0-2, the only excitement at Brown Field was the school's volleyball team hosting the state's first ever outdoor match, but before you know it, now the Hawks have won 3 straight, scored a combined 112 points over the last 2 games. Still a lot of time left for the Hawks to get in a solid position for the postseason. Hawks wasted no time as they jump out to an early 7-0 lead. Brent Yankovic pumping once and finds a 6'3" receiver, Seth Jackson, for 27-yard touchdown. West Delaware extended their lead to 14-0. Just impressive as the Hawks offense tonight. Their defense completely shutting out the Pointers in the first half. Yankovic in his Thanos voice saying, "I'll do it myself." He runs in for the touchdown for not the last time we're going to see him. A 2-point conversion. The QB runs it in again, extended their lead to 28-0. Everything just looking good in Hawk country. Again, more defense from the Hawks. QB tries to run up the middle, but met by a swarm of black jerseys. West Delaware takes the ball back over, and Yankovic showing off his wheels again as he runs for a first down. Decides again, already showed off the legs, let me show you about my arm. He's going to connect with running back McCoy Rawling for another first down. West Delaware marching down the field with ease, and they cap off the drive with Rawling hitting a spin and a Superman dive across the goal line for the touchdown. The Hawks take down Center Point Urbana 49-6. These Hawks are rolling. And this show themed around adversity. Solon has faced precious little of that this season. The Spartans are 5-0, sporting the #1 designation in 3A. Couple of tough road tests on the horizon in Van Horn tonight, and the game doesn't start out the best for the Spartans. Benton driving down the field early in the first. Carson Nolan hands it to Dylan LeFaber for the touchdown. After the PAT, the Bobcats go up 7-0 on the Spartans. On that ensuing Solon drive, they just start moving down the field. They get down to the 5-yard line. Ty Bell fakes the read option and takes it in himself, falling over into the end zone for a touchdown. Now their PAT was blocked by Benton, so the score is 7-6. That PAT proves crucial. Next drive for Benton. Driving again down the field. Nolan hands the ball to LeFaber, who gets to the outside, tries to get to the end zone before getting caught at the 5. The drive ended for Benton after failing a 4th down attempt. Gives Solon the ball back. On the next Spartan drive, getting downfield, Ty Bell takes a snap and throws it deep to Eli Campman, splits 2 defenders for the catch. That drive also ends in no points, though. It was 7-6 at halftime, and the end comes down to 1. The #1 team falls to Benton. That blocked PAT proves the difference. A stunner in Van Horn as #1 Solon goes down. The reigning champs from Williamsburg, a gargantuan test coming next week when they host Solon. In the meantime, a chance to fill the stat sheet as they host Fairfield. Opening drive of the night for Williamsburg. Grant, Hooker, to Race Heitman. These guys are the most lethal combination in Iowa, already putting the Raiders ahead 6-0. And on Williamsburg's next drive, Hooker, Heitman, you know the names, same spot for their second touchdown connection of the first quarter. Through 6 games, few teams have been able to limit what these guys can do on the field. It's 13-0 Raiders, and they're finding ways to move the ball on the ground as well. Niles Sin, no sinner but a saint, walking on clouds as he skates across the goal line. Williamsburg has a 20-point lead after 1. Now in the second, Grady Weegen's a name that's well known across Williamsburg. A 55-yard house call for Wild Weegen. And just for good measure, later in the second quarter, Hooker and Heitman can't let Weegen have all the fun. They had their 3rd touchdown connection of just the first half. Williamsburg, now we got a little preview of this score, but they blow the doors off another opponent at home. They've got a huge matchup cooking next week against Solon. Got a lot of good 3A teams this year in Eastern Iowa. Dubuque Wahlert with another top 10 win as they beat Independence by 7 at the Rock Bowl, and Mount Vernon, #5 in the state, beating Davenport Assumption 46-14. Regina is running and ripping through all comers in Class 1A. It's the Marv Cook Showcase as West Branch heads east to try to give the Runham Regals their first loss of the season. And Maquoketa Valley's defense is in the midst of another historic run of success. The Wildcats trying to take this run Dell higher and Dell harder. More Dell highlights after the break on Eastern Iowa OT.
We gotta hit home. If we're gonna stunt, we gotta hit home, guys. Come on, let's go. Go.
Two first-year head coaches, rival schools, both working in the shadow of a larger-than-life Iowa legend in Marv Cook, the man whose number is retired at West Branch High School and who won 6 state titles as the head coach of Regina. Now it's John Nestor and Dustin Ellsbury's turn stepping into the ring. Nestor's son is a Hawkeye. Ellsbury's brother is a Hawkeye. Marv Cook used to be a Hawkeye. How could we resist such a juicy matchup for our game of the week? Here's Curtis Fader.
Regina is by all accounts absolutely rolling heading into tonight, but the Regals have dropped their last 2 matchups against West Branch despite having the better pedigree and the better record. Can Regina finally capitalize on their momentum and prove once and for all that they are the team to beat in this rivalry? The Regals are 5-0, trying to build a run to the Dome at the end of this year. Meanwhile, West Branch desperate to get back to 500 on the season and keep the win streak against Regina alive. Pick things up opening quarter. Connor Rios' pass is tipped and intercepted by Hudson Cook. He takes this ball deep into Bears territory. Ensuing drive, Kyle Tracy hits Drew Grieve on the money. He waltzes in for the opening touchdown of the ball game. But in the second quarter, West Branch fights back. After getting a safety off a punt out of the end zone, Connor Rios lost one to Brandon Peterson for 6. Bears convert the 2-point conversion to go up 10-7. But with 13 seconds left in the half, this play must be a movie because this is Regal cinema. Kyle Tracy receives the double lateral and he's got green grass ahead of him. This play was only created on Tuesday, but it's turning the game on its head as Tracy does the spectacular to give Regina the lead back at the half. Same score in the third. West Branch can't corral the punt and the Regals pounce on it. Very next play from scrimmage, Savion Miller gets the rock and bounces it outside. He's going to take this bad boy all the way as Regina starting to feel it into the fourth. This game gets put away courtesy of Kyle Tracy to Will Aitchison for the tutty. Regina at last snaps the streak and beats West Branch 28-10, and you can tell how much it means for this team to finally get it done.
It means so much. Being the only varsity guys from Regina who, have lost to West Branch 2 years in a row, and it's embarrassing. And coming back out and getting this win as a senior, it means a lot. I mean, it's a big rivalry, and I feel so special. So
when we started getting some momentum, that muff punt they had, there's a big momentum swing. Will Aitchison with some big catches down the stretch there. Our guys kind of caught their second win, and they really felt, they really bought and fed off that energy.
Reporting at Regina Catholic High School in Iowa City, I'm Curtis Fader, Eastern Iowa OT.
Thank you, Curtis. Regina is still perfect, as is Grundy Center. Huge top 5 win for the #1 Spartans, who have won, I believe, 32 games straight now, going back a few seasons. Dyke New Hartford shut out for the Wolverines as well, 34-0. They get a top 10 win over MFL Marmac. If you're looking for a team that's picked itself up and now looks like a heavyweight contender, look no further than Delhi, Iowa. Maquoketa Valley lost its season opener to Cascade 10-9. Since then, not only 4 straight wins, the Wildcats have not given up a single point in its last 4 games. 16 straight quarters of shutout football for these Delhi dandies, but tonight is their toughest challenge to date, facing a Bellevue team who's in the same boat. They lost their season opener, have come back to win 4 in a row. Oddly, each team's 4 straight wins have come against the same 4 opponents. We'll get something figured out tonight. The Wildcats on their very first play from scrimmage with a huge run out of the gate. Look at sophomore Rogan Height showing off the legs. Can't catch this boy. He's the gingerbread boy. How about a 78-yard touchdown to open the game? And it's going to be one of those nights for Maquoketa Valley. The extra point is good, and those boys take a 7-0 lead. What about the other side of the ball? The Wildcat defense, they are vicious, as we've established. They rush a quarterback for a sack. Maquoketa Valley looking for that 5th straight shutout. Wildcats now with a 3rd and long of their own. The junior, Brady Wall, scans the field, goes deep, and finds wide receiver Eli Doherty, and he fights for extra yardage, bringing down 2 Comet players with him. On the way to a huge first down, the Wildcats near their goal line cap off the drive with Wall, a touchdown, and Maquoketa Valley completes the shutout by winning 35-0. A fifth straight shutout. Are you kidding me, Maquoketa Valley? I don't know the last time I've ever heard of a team with 5 straight shutouts. An incredible run for the Wildcats. A couple more scores to get to for Class A. Lisbon, those guys have had a lot of shutouts this year. I think this is their third of the season, 49-0. They beat Wapello. Northland, the Lynx, a shutout of their own, 39-0. They're beating Clayton Ridge over in beautiful Guttenberg, Iowa. We've worked up a lather, but still got one more round in us before throwing in the towel. Ding, ding, it's our play of the week when we come back on Eastern Iowa OT. Iowa special teams coach LeVar Woods, friend of the program. He's out of town right now, resting up in Columbus, Ohio, as the Hawkeyes try to pull off a colossal upset against the Buckeyes, so he doesn't have to know about the unsportsmanlike penalty on his son, Mason Woods, tonight. A little suspect of a call, perhaps, but this is just between us. Maybe a flag is worth it when you pull off the play of the week. We're doing double duty on this week's play of the week. Woods, a future Hawkeye, pulling down the one-handed grab with a defender draped all over him. Then another future Division I player, Julian Juju Manson, hauls in his own one-handed catch at the goal line. Wes got some playmakers to pull them in from Jack Wallace. A huge win on their home field tonight. That's it for week 6 of Eastern Iowa OT. Just 2 to 3 weeks left in the regular season, depending on your class size. We'll see you next Friday. Do it all again.